good, y'all? Welcome to my review for The Thunderbolts. I finally watched the movie, man, and oh my god, what a film. This is easily the second best movie of Phase 5. Obviously behind, Guardians 3. I think I have this ranked third, or it would be third because Daredevil Born Again isn't on Letterboxd on my ranking of Phase 5. I absolutely adore this film, man. And this is easily one of my all-time favorite MCU movies. Though, I'm going to be honest, I have it ranked at number 12 on my Letterboxd MCU ranking. Though, I don't know, man. For some reason, I feel like if I went back and rewatched this movie with Guardians 3, I feel like I would put this over Wakanda Forever, and this would be 7 and 8. I don't know if I would. Yeah, like I said, I would have to go back and rewatch them. But I feel like after watching this film, and Guardians 3, I feel like I would have both these movies up a bit higher than I do. I feel like. But I would have, like I said, I would have to go back and rewatch those films to know, for certain for my opinions. But yeah, this is easily the best thing in Phase 5 since Born Again, which was the last thing. But before that, it was Guardian 3, man. This is such an absolutely incredible film, man. Shot like an actual film, which you guys know that Marvel put out a second trailer. It was like Thunderbolts, peak cinema, announcing like their crew they had. They're like the director. Look, he directed these. Look at these directors and the cinematographer. Look at the previous films they have done. We promise this movie's actually gonna be shot like an actual proper film. We promise. And they weren't wrong, man. The cinematography, while this isn't like some jaw-dropping, beautifully gorgeous film, it does look really fucking good by Marvel standard, especially the action, which we'll obviously talk about as we get through the review, man. And the spoiler discussion, man, we got a lot to talk about. Hopefully I'll actually remember everything I want to talk about, because I've noticed for the past couple of videos, I think with Daredevil Born Again, there are things I mean to mention in the spoiler that I just don't. That I just forget to mention because I'm usually recording those pretty late at night, because they usually air like in between NXT. Like NXT's on, I have to go and I'll watch it usually after NXT wraps up. But yeah, man. Without further ado, man, let's just jump right in. So the film is directed by Jake Schreiser, if I pronounce that name right, and of course stars Florence Pugh, Lewis Pullman, David Harbour, Rod Russell, Sebastian Stan, and many more. And the plot of the Thunderbolts is ensnared in a death trap and under an unconventional team of anti-heroes, Yelena, Bucky, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, and John Walker embark on a dangerous mission that forces them to confront their darkest corners of their past. First of all, man, we gotta talk about the cast, man. The cast is fucking brilliant in this film, especially Florence and David. They are absolutely the highlights of the film, and I dare say they should both be nominated for Best Actress and Best Supporting, Best Supporting Actor. Because they are both fucking brilliant in this movie, man. Hell, I dare say, and the screenplay is also amazing as well. I dare say that should also be nominated for Best Staff Screen. Will it get any of these nominations? Of fucking course not, because it's Marvel, and the Academy hates Marvel. No matter what it is, man, no matter how good it looks, they refuse to be nominated for anything that isn't visual effects. Or costume design if you're lucky, like Black Panther. But that's about it, and that's probably just because, black cats, like, oh, we are woke here, whatever, we showed that we care about diversity, let's nominate Black Panther. That'll be the sole moment of any actual real nominations. You can't tell me it's not probably part of the reason Black Panther movies have got some, actually are like the only moment that MCU that have gotten real nominations in the real categories that actually matter. I mean, not to say they don't deserve it, the Black Panther movies are incredible and deserve the nomination they got. I'm just saying, some of other Marvel movies, but they don't get anything. Just saying. Anyway, many tangent aside, man. They are both brilliant in this movie, man. I love them so much. And like I said, they both should be getting Oscar noms, if you ask me. Rod Russell, once again, is great as U.S. agent. I loved him. I love what we saw of him in this movie, man. I love how they kind of follow up with him, post Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he was great as well. And hopefully we get to see more of him in a sequel to the Thunderbolts, man, because I love this team. This team had great chemistry with one another, man. And I'm really excited to see where they go in any possible future movies, which I'm assuming they'll probably in Doomsday or Avengers, Secret Wars. I imagine they'll probably be in either of those films, if not both of them. Really looking forward to seeing these characters some more, man. Yeah, I also got to give a shout out to Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob. Shout out to our boy Bob, which I won't get too knee deep into him, as well as the Sentry, who is the main villain of the film, which we've seen bits of in trailers. I won't get really knee deep into either of these characters, because the trailers didn't really show a lot of these two characters. But I did really like what they did with Bob. I thought he was great. I thought he was a really cool character. Now you guys know me. I am definitely a Marvel guy, but I am not an encyclopedia on the Marvel Universe. Characters like the Sentry, I know very little of. I just know of the Sentry. I know we got that whole Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, which we do see in the film, but that's about it. I've never read any Sentry comics, so I cannot speak on to the adaptation, how good or how well they adapted his character, how he was brought into the MCU. I don't know if it's a case where he was done perfectly, or it's like what happened with Taskmaster and Black Widow, where everyone was complaining about it. I personally like Taskmaster in that film. That's just me personally. Loved him as well, man, and I really liked the Sentry suit. The Sentry suit is honestly probably one of the best looking Marvel suits. Now, you guys know me. I have never been bothered or minded the quote-unquote over-designed Marvel suits that we typically see in the MCU, man. A lot of the times I actually really enjoy those suits. So I've never really been one of that, but this one, man, I really like the colors of it. I like the way it was designed, man. And it's not even that busy as well. So if you are someone that is bugged by the quote-unquote over-designed Marvel suit that we typically see for the superheroes, I think you'll like the Sentry suit because once again, it doesn't have a bunch of lines on it, man, and it's pretty simple. It's very close to how he looks in the comics, I would assume, from the bits that I've seen of it, from what I can remember. But yeah, man, I also gotta say, man, goddamn, this film looks incredible in IMAX, man. I saw a movie in IMAX, which you guys, if you guys follow Twitter, you guys would see that I did, and of course, I had to get the popcorn tin and the cup, which actually lets you get a little mini figure on the top of it, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be like a miniature, like Funko Pop thing. The dude had asked me which one of the characters I wanted, and I said like, oh, Becky or Yelena. They told me like, oh, we only got like Ghost and Taskmaster. Though he called him Moon Knight, I'm like, I'll take Moon Knight, because I was just curious what he meant. Like, does he mean literally Moon Knight? Then I saw, I was like, oh, it's Taskmaster. So, yeah, there you go. I got it, so yeah, there you go. But that was pretty cool, man. No surprise that, Yelena, Bucky, and Red Guard were all taken, because I watched this movie on a Saturday. They were probably instantly sold out on opening week on the Thursday and Friday when this movie initially dropped. But that was pretty cool. And I was glad to see I was able to grab the cup and the tin. Anyway, as I was saying about the IMAX footage, this film looks incredible in X-Men, and I dare say the IMAX footage looked extra crispy. I don't know if my local theater, my local AMC had just upgraded their projector. It just got a nice clean on it. If this film used some new generation IMAX cameras that have an even higher resolution than the previous ones, man. I just know this movie looked extra crispy for the IMAX footage, man. It was very high res and it looked amazing. Like I said, or they use some new next generation IMAX cameras that Captain America Brave New World didn't, because this one definitely looked better than Brave New World in just terms of just the resolution. It looked the IMAX footage in that one looked way crisper than what we saw in Captain America Brave New World, at least from what I can remember, man. But I remember when I watched the movie, the IMAX footage looked extra crispy. So yeah, I don't know if they had, my AMC just got a new projector, or they were using some new fancy IMAX cameras or something. Either way, the IMAX footage looked incredible, man. Like I said, the cinematography for this movie looks great, and that especially is shown in the action sequences. My God, the action! This is probably some of the best shot action we have seen in the MCU, just period, man. It's long, wide takes. You can see everything, man, and we get long takes of it too, which, as a fan of that, from Daredevil, Guardians 3, man, I love that shit. And we get a lot of it. We start moving off with this overhead shot of Yelena fighting off against these goons while she's in, I think, Malaysia is where this part of the movie takes place, in this lab to cover up stuff for Valentina when she's having Yelena cover up her shit because she's in the middle of getting impeached. I'm assuming because of what happened in Falcon the Winter Soldier and Captain America Brave New World, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm assuming it's all stemming from that. But yeah, like I said, that fight looked amazing. Like I said, it was a nice long take overhead shot with some narration from Yelena as she's battling these goons. We get another one when they're actually fighting the Sentry for the first time, man. That was once again one take, although with the camera mostly predominantly focused on the Sentry as the guys just kind of attack at him one by one and all get their asses kicked by him. So yeah, the action of this movie looks absolutely incredible, and the cinematography in general looked great, man. There's also this one amazing sequence as well near the end of the film that was also spectacularly filmed as well, man. Cinematography for this movie was just great. It's not the best looking Marvel movie, I would say. I would definitely say that Arnold would go to board again in terms of just pure cinematography. But compared to most Marvel movies, this is easily one of the better shot ones. I will say that one. I will say that much. Like I mentioned before, the screenplay for this movie is also phenomenal, man. I love the story of this movie. I love how much heart and soul this film has, and that is easily without doubt its biggest strength. This is a Marvel movie with some heart to it. This feels like something that you would see Sam Raimi do. This is something that you would definitely see James Gunn doing, which I think James Gunn might have actually been originally. I don't know if this was ever confirmed or not, but I think, or maybe this was just speculation on people, just people speculating, I should say, that James was originally going to be able to one directing the Thunderbolts when this movie was like early on in production, but then of course, you know, Marvel kicked him to the curb, the mouse came crawling back to him for Guardians 3 after he did the Suicide Squad, and now he's running DC Films, DC Studios now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was originally penned for the film to be the director, because this is definitely very much in line to what he does with his films, man, to the Guardians film, man, and this movie has just about as much heart as the Guardians films. I love the movie's messaging with empathy about mental health and people like dealing with their trauma and everything, man. It's so well done, man. Like I said, the screenplay for this movie is just brilliant. Honestly, this should be nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for the Oscars. It won't because it's Marvel, but it should. I'm just saying. But yeah, like I said, and I also love the comedies. Like, once again, this kind of keeps up with Born Again, where the comedy is way more subtle than we typically see in Marvel. Like, obviously, you got a lot of the Marvel King, which is done through David Harbour as the Red Guardian. The Red Guardian, once again, just like in Black Widow, steals the show, man. He's fucking hilarious, man. I love him so much. I love the Red Guardian, his just Papa Bear energy, and just his excitement of, once again, obviously, of taking care of Yelena, and him desperately wanting to be a superhero, be like, we are the Thunderbolts! Which, yeah, that was so funny, man. Like, like one scene where like him, where he like when him and Yelena meet up for the first time in the film, you know, we see that he's like literally now a limo driver, and he's like, oh yes, I am happy, I am fulfilled, I am full, I am filled in life. And then, you know, she mentions that how she wants to get out from Valentina, and she's like, I'd burn the world for her. Look, but you just said you were fulfilled. Look at me, I am fucking miserable. Look, he did say fucking. He's like, look at me, I am miserable. So funny, but like one of the ones that had the biggest laugh for me was the scene when they're out in the street somewhere in New York City where Yelena and him are arguing, and then you just see this random civilian just looking at him crazy while she's passing by, man. Just literally some random extra being like, what the fuck is going on with you two? And just walks away, man. It's literally in the background. You could very easily miss it. And it was easily one of the biggest laughs I got out of the film from someone that was just an extra's reaction to them arguing, which absolutely killed. There's another one where they like bust into the Avengers Tower or whatever, or the Watchtower, I think it's now called, but built from Avengers Tower. They go in there, guns blazing, with a big ass truck going through the front door window. They fight out the guards there, and then Valentina comes over like, Jesus, I left the door unopened. I left the door unlocked for you guys. Come in like normal people. So that was pretty fun. The comedy in this film, man, is fantastic, man. And yeah, like I said, I love the way how the film deals with characters' traumas and everything, man. Like the screenplay is phenomenal, man. I think in terms of flaws I have with the movie, man, there's one big one, and two things that I kind of wish got more expansion on this film, which maybe we might see in future projects, MCU projects. One, Taskmaster. Even though Taskmaster is in all the posters, all the promotion, like you can get her on your Thunderbolts cup at AMC like I did. She's all over the posters and the promotional material for this film. She's literally only in the movie for 5 minutes. And then we never see from her again. Obviously, I'll talk more on spoiler question, like why, about what happened to her. But I'm like, why did you even bother putting her on the posters and everything if she was only in the film for 5 minutes? Why did you even bother including her, given what you did with her afterwards? Like literally, I'm pretty sure all of her footage has been shown off in the trailer for Taskmaster. I do not know why they even bother including her if they were going to use her so little. Why was she even included to begin with? I do not know. That leaves me very confused. And two things I do wish we got expanded on more. One is Bucky being a senator, which you guys know we saw bits of that when we first found out he was running for senator, was a senator in Captain America: Brave New World. And I mentioned in my review for that film, I was wondering if that was ever going to connect back, and we're going to see any of that in Thunderbolts, how that would connect to Thunderbolts. Which we do see him like being somewhat of a senator in Thunderbolts, but we really don't get a lot of it, man. I would love to have seen they've actually focused more on that. We got to see how he even became a senator, or what even led him to become a senator. Like, not even so much a flash, just him mentioning it or talking with someone about what he's done out being a senator and what he's been like, how he even wanted to become a senator up to this point, man. That would have been cool. I also kind of wish we got more expansion on U.S. Agent in sort of like I said, we get this whole sequence where the characters have to relive their past traumas and everything, man, which we'll get more into the specifics on that in the sports discussion, but they show what happened to him in the immediate aftermath of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We get a little bit of it, but I wish we got a lot more of that in the film. I wish they focused more than just that one little scene we got. I wish I got a lot more footage because I honestly really care to see what happened to him in between Falcon and the Winter Soldier and this film. So that's something I also wish got expanded upon in the movie as well. Now, like always, guys, give you my final verdict, and then we'll get into the spoilers, guys. So if you guys do not want to get spoiled, leave. So anyway, guys, overall, I give my final verdict. This film is going to be a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we'll now get into sports, guys. So if you guys do not want to get spoiled, leave. Now, first, let's talk about the film's, I guess, real name or the name change. Now, as you guys know, the film was originally just called Thunderbolts, had this really badass red logo. Then, like most of the Marvel projects later on, they changed this boring-ass yellow text, Thunderbolts with an asterisk next to it. It looked like the same font they used for Hawkeye, and I hated it. I hate the logo. I was like, why'd you get rid of the cool logo? It seems like every time Marvel changes the logo, it always looks worse, except for Born Again. Born Again's original logo looked pretty cool, and the new logo looked even better after the revamp. So, shout out to that. But Thunderbolts, I hated. Then we also see it with the asterisks. And I remember seeing a lot of tweets of people theorizing that the film was actually going to have a name change at the end of the film. And then we find out what the series, the movie's real name is, which ended up happening. And it's actually The New Avengers. That is the true name of the film. So that does make me wonder, like, once this film drops on Disney Plus, once it comes out on Blu-ray, digital, are they gonna actually still call this movie The Thunderbolts, or are they gonna actually call it The New Avengers, since that's like the actual name of it? Will they have for the Blu-rays, will come with an alternate slipcover or a secondary steelbook that has Thunderbolts on it, but then one that says The New Avengers on it? That's one thing I'm kind of curious about. I kind of hope they kind of do that because I think that would be kind of cool. If they did have reversible coverage you can have, or a secondary steelbook that has Thunderbolts as well as the New Avengers on. And the New Avengers logo actually looks really good. And the suits that we see them wearing in the post-credit scene, because there's both the mid-credit scene and post-credit scene, look amazing as well. Like, I need Hot Toys of those. Like, give me Hot Toys of their original suits we see throughout most of the film, and then give us their New Avengers looks as well. I need both. I need both of these, which I did check to see if Hot Toys even had announced their Thunderbolts line yet. So far as I can tell, no Thunderbolts line has been announced yet, but though I'm sure it's going to be coming very soon since the movie is already out, man. Everyone's sold, so I'm sure Hot Toys is getting right on that to make their Hot Toys of these and, start selling. So I really liked it. So I thought the New Avengers were cool. I remember seeing some people, I was thinking that they might be called this one called the Dark Avengers because a lot of them are anti-heroes. I also think maybe one of they called this West Coast Avengers or something like that. But they went with the New Avengers, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously a reference to Brian Michael Bendis' run called the New Avengers as well, though obviously a completely different team because that one has Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine on it. This one obviously has, a bunch of anti-heroes on it. Now let's actually talk about the Thunderbolts name itself and how it relates into this movie. Now, as you guys may know, if you guys are a fan of the comics, you guys know that the Thunderbolts in the comics are basically Marvel's Suicide Squad. It's an organization, it's a team, Black Ops team that's commanded and operated by Thunderbolt Ross. Now here in this movie, Thunderbolt Ross has nothing to do with the Thunderbolts. He is obviously mentioned in the film, and we do hear some rumblings of the aftermath of Captain America: Brave New World, but he himself is not involved. In fact, the reason they even called themselves the Thunderbolts in the start of it was because that's literally the name of Yelena's shitty childhood soccer team was called the Thunderbolts. So there you go. That's where the name change comes from, which, whatever. I thought I was kind of excited with that they changed the name from being connected to Thunderbolt Ross to just being Yelena's shitty soccer team that didn't win a game, which is relatable because I remember back when I was a kid and I played basketball. Back when we were still living in Japan, they had their little kids basketball league was all just NBA teams. We were the Cavaliers. This was the same year that right after they lost LeBron as well, and we were shit. We didn't win a single goddamn game. I think we may have won one game. That's it. We were shit. Not gonna lie, we were shit. Now let's get into the Sentry as well. Now, like I said before, guys, I'm not really very familiar with the Sentry. I just know that he got to have the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing. Literally, and actually, funny story. Literally, as I was recording this video, Variant Comics just dropped their History of Century video, literally while I'm recording the video. So I'll definitely give that a watch after I'm done recording this. But I thought what they did with the Century, first of all, like I said, I love his suit. I thought they did an amazing job bringing his suit from the comics into live action. I think he looks amazing. Love the suit, especially when we see like the Void part of Century, this all blacked out thing, which we saw in the trailers, looks amazing. I would love to know how they did the effect for that man, because I'm assuming it was a digital effect, because he's literally completely covered in shadows. He's blacked out completely, and it looks amazing. Like I said, I'm assuming they probably did most of this with CGI, maybe had to wear like a blacked out suit as well, man, but it looked amazing. I would love to know how they did the effect for that. So that looked pretty cool, man. The Sentry is super overpowered. Like, that's his whole thing, is that he's like that he's one of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. And we get to see where like he is just literally just tanking all the hits from the Thunderbolts, and literally takes U.S. agents, shield, which I'm pretty sure is also made out of vibranium, and just bends it into a taco, which we see him actually riding in the in the end credits, which I thought was pretty funny. So yeah, that was pretty funny, man. Now let's get into the Taskmaster. Okay. Now, you guys know I didn't like how they had Taskmaster on all the trailers and everything, man. She's only moved for she's only moved for maybe 5 minutes total. And that's because they just straight up kill her off. What happens at the start of the movie is that Valentina and Task Yelena to go hunt down, see who's going into like her super secret vault with the most important intel that she's trying to bury it and kill whoever's trying to grab it, which ends up being Ghost. While that's going on, she also enlists a U.S. agent to take out Yelena, and while that's all going, Taskmaster was there to enlisted to take care of U.S. agent. So they will all kill each other, and then there will also be no tied end. They have this amazing 5 minute, and then like U.S. agent straight up shoots her in the head and kills her. Like literally, she like dies. Like I said, she's in all the trailers. She's in all the posters. I don't know why they bothered including it, but they were literally gonna kill her off in the opening of the movie. I still do not understand what that was about. And I know a Taskmaster in the MCU was very hated. Like not most of the comic book fans of the Taskmaster did not like how he was adapted, and of course also gender bent as well. So maybe it wasn't maybe they're gonna kill this one off and then give us the real Taskmaster sometime later on in a future film. In which case, fair enough, I suppose. But what was even the point of bringing her in if you were just gonna kill her off? I don't even see what the point was to put her in the film or put her in the promotional materials if you weren't even gonna use her and get rid of her in the first 30 minutes of the film. And I just do not understand, and I thought that was kind of dumb, and I wasn't really a big fan. Like I said, she was in all the trailers. It's like when Tasman 2 is advertising the Rhino as the third villain when he's only in the final 5 minutes of the film. You know what I mean? It's that whole thing. So that I wasn't a big fan. Now, one thing I did like I mentioned before, I wish they expanded more on U.S. agents, what happened with him and his trauma, because the little bit we get of it, like I said, they do show us a little bit of what we see, which I'm not even sure how Sentry's powers even works. I don't know if we've got some sort of telepathy thing or something going on. It seems like something very much they do see how Silent Hill, with the characters having to relive their past trauma and everything and their mistakes. Which, like I said, Yelena's stuff is amazing when we see what she did in the Red Room, had to get one of her friends killed as one of her main trials for her to become a widow or whatnot, man. That was really well done, man. The scene where they're all having to build guns, Yelena's the first to do it, and then her instructor, whatever, grabs a whip and starts whipping their hands to be like, how dare you, you're too slow. And Yelena even though Yelena can't do nothing, she holds her younger self and covers up, and she is flinching at the whip sounds, man. Florence Pugh in this movie, as I said before, is fucking brilliant. She should be nominated for Best Actress, man. I would dare say, man. She is incredible in the film, and I love her design. I love her suit design. And like I said, especially when we see their new Avengers look at the end of the movie, man, in the post-credit scene, those look amazing as well, man. I love those suit design. But anyway, as I was saying, I went back to what I was saying about U.S. Agent. I thought that I wish they expand, because all we get of it is him watching, reading this article about him, his downfall after the events of Falcon the Winter Soldier, where he's has his daughter, and his wife's telling him to look at his child, to supervise his child. He's like, I'm looking. He's just staring at his phone. She eventually comes in there, man, and she's like, you're not even watching. She's like, fine, if you don't like the way I do it, you do it. And he walks out, and she picks up the baby and does her thing, and that's when we cut over to a different character. That was pretty cool, but I wish they spent more time with him with U.S. Agent, showing more of his downfall after Falcon the Winter Soldier into this movie. I wish they focused more on his trauma than Yelena's the one they obviously focused the most on, but I wish U.S. Agent got some more showcase as well. We got to see more of his trauma and him being at rock bottom after the events of Falcon the Winter Soldier. I wish we got more of that as well, and his the downfall of his marriage, because that was really cool what we saw in that, but I wish we got more of it. Now let's get into the post-credit mid-credit scene. Now the mid-credit scene is literally just Yeah, you guys probably seen like the poster or whatever where like it's a Thunderbolts on like that looks like a Wheatie box. Well, they actually do that in the movie in the mid-credit scene where the Red Guardian goes into like some Walmart, into some grocery store, and a woman is looking for cereals, and then he picks up the Wheaties box, and like it's actually healthy, and then like puts it up to his face and be like, "Hey, I'm on the box," and she's like, "Okay," and then she grabs it. Then when she like is about to turn the aisle, she like sets it down and and goes away, which I thought was pretty funny. Now in the post-credit scene, we see we see the new suits that they got for the new Avengers, and like we see the towers. We see there's a rift between him and Wilson. People are like, oh, they're not the real Avengers because Wilson's Captain America. He had trademarked the Avengers as well, and so the Red Guardian says we are the Avengers with a Z at the end instead of an S, and all this whole thing, man. And then as this is all going on, that there's some anomaly going on in outer space. And I'm like, oh, this must be some connected to like Secret Wars or, into Doom Dynasty. I'm thinking like maybe we'll see a hint at Doctor Doom or something along those lines to connect to those two, to the new Avengers that are currently filming. So they keep going, and then eventually we see this spaceship. And then I'm like, oh, I think it's a Fantastic Four. And I'm like, come on, you motherfuckers, turn the ship and show me a four, And then we see the four. My whole theater erupted in cheers when we saw the four. Obviously, insinuating the Fantastic Four are coming in, which I think this also definitely confirms that there will be some dimensional, time thing going on there, man, probably, because I don't know if this was like straight up confirmed that the Fantastic Four first step movie set in a different universe from the MCU, and that they're going to be joining it in Doom Dynasty and Secret Wars, and that's how they're going to be joining the MCU proper. But this movie basically confirms that if that's the case with them coming in via spaceship. And the spaceship still looked pretty cool, man. I was like, so happy to see the Fantastic Four thing. Which also, one thing I forgot to mention real quick, I might as well mention here, was when they actually played the trailers for Fantastic Four, they changed the whole little MPA logo, like, this film was rated PG-13 or whatever, and changed it to what I'm assuming they looked like back in the 60s, which I thought was a nice touch. And we also got for the IMAX count, I think they used the Fantastic Four one as well, which I was happy to see. So that's really hype, man. I'm excited to see what the Fantastic Four is going to be about, how that will connect and lead us into Doom Dynasty, or Doomsday, excuse me, and Secret Wars, how this will tie into Thunderbolts. Are we going to see the Thunderbolts or I guess the new Avengers, I should start calling them now, in the end of Fantastic Four? Is that going to be like one of the mid-credit scene, the post-credit scene, where they actually meet up with the new Avengers, and that leads us directly into Doomsday? So we'll have to wait and see where that goes, man. But I was definitely excited to see that post-credit scene. And I love the whole final scene where we go through Bob's trauma and we get to see the meth head chicken, which, oh my god, bro. When we were going through Bob's whole trauma and him definitely having a dysfunctional family, abusive father, whatnot, man, and we were going through like his downfall before he became a test subject and became the Sentry. We see one time where Bucky and the Thunderbolts have to face off against him with him in a chicken suit, twirling that sign for like a car wash or whatever, and he says he was on meth. So we literally have this meth head kung fu fighting chicken suit guy going off face off against Bucky and whatnot, man. It was so funny, man. That was probably like my favorite part of the movie is the meth head chicken fight is a chicken, which has to be a reference to Family Guy. There's no way it was not inspired by the chicken in Family Guy, man. Seriously, it was so funny, man. And I'm like, there needs to be a hot toy of the meth head kung fu fighting chicken, so I can put him up against the Sentry, man, because that'd just be funny. So, Hot Toys, make a Hot Toys of this fucking chicken. I need a Hot Toys, a Funko Pop, I don't give a damn. Get the chicken some love. Get the chicken something. Give a Marvel Legends action figure while you're at it, man. The whole 9 yards. I want the chicken. Seriously, like, that had me cracking up, man. That was another time where the comedy really just shined, was with the chicken. Chicken was so unexpected too. Like, I don't think anyone, like, I wonder if the writers themselves were high on meth when they came up with the chicken. Seriously, it was so fucking funny, man. But anyway, another sequence I really loved to really show the heart of the film, and once again, one of the film's themes of empathy, mental illness, depression, trauma, and all that jazz, was when the Sentry himself is fighting up against the Void, and he has this whole sequence where he's like beating the shit, which is what the Void wants. He wants him to be absorbed in the darkness, and Elaine and the rest of the Thunderbolts have to go in there and remind him, hey, you're not alone, It's a really epic sequence, especially when like Yelena finally manages to break through thanks with the help of the Red Guardian, and she has to like dodge all these like, you know, lab equipment coming right at her and dodging and jumping over it, man. It was filmed beautifully, man. The choreography was phenomenal as well, man. Such an amazing when she finally hugs him, which I would not be surprised if people start shipping Yelena and the Sentry because of this film, man. But, which, I don't know, depending on how they develop this, I might join them, but like, I would not be surprised. People have already started shipping those two, would not be surprised. But yeah, that's probably that's also one of my favorite scenes in the entire film, and I love that scene so much. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about with the Thunderbolts. Hopefully this time I didn't actually forget something that I wanted to talk about that I ended up completely forgetting about. I mentioned everything I wanted. I mentioned the chicken, talked more about the Sentry, and I thought that was cool in his power set. I love how the Void, I guess that's what it's called, is shown off, man, with like what you saw in the trailers as well, with people just becoming these shadows, man. It looks amazing. I love the look of it. And yeah, man, Taskmaster, I think I got everything I want to talk about. Anyway, guys, I've rambled on long. It's probably like over 30 minutes by the time I start editing this together. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like, if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me if you feel like it. Links are below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.